The Footy Super Show. And now, here's Will and Sam.
Join us this week on the Footy Super Show. We've stacked carriage. We've brought Mitch Rodd in. We've got Jonah Licht joining us from the Robinvale Euston Football and Netball Club. Defender of the week, Mitch Rodd's quick fire questions. So stick around. It's going to be a ripping show. Welcome to the Footy Super Show, episode 19. Lots to discuss this week, but I've had to get a replacement because I don't know where my offsider is, but we've got a very good replacement to cover him. Mitchy Rodd joins us. Thanks, Mitchy.
G'day, Will. Nice to see you, mate. It's been a little while since we've come back on. Clearly, I've had to bide my time in the twos before we got another run, but I suppose the head honcho behind the cameras here, it's like a sleeper agent, just called out Beetlejuice 3 times, and here I am.
Here you are in a fear. No, I think it's been through a good form in the twos, mate, that you've just kept knocking down the door and we've had to bring you back in.
Well, I appreciate it, mate. The first one I've obviously got to do alongside you, but I'd like to know where your normal offsider is, Sammy Kerridge. And as I don't know if it's got something to do with the form line of his side at the moment, whether him and Alves might be in an underground bunker somewhere, just going through some tactics on the eve of finals.
It is concerning, but probably the more pressing issue is that I may have taken the lead in the tips. I think that's why he's not here.
Well, I know you were pretty keen on impressing that on me in the few weeks I was here, and unfortunately, I couldn't really keep the momentum going for you, but you've done it in the end by yourself. They're absolutely flying through at the moment with only 2 rounds to go in a good spot.
But what Sam Kerridge would say is, mate, one soldier out, next soldier in, and away we go. So we're going to rip into the show and let's take a look at some highlights from the weekend that was, thanks to our friends at Sunraysia Football Netball League and their naming rights partner, Barry Plant. Mitchy, the clash between Wentworth and Redcliffe's probably the start of the day. We thought this one was going to be one-sided, but the Wentworth boys were up and about for the contest.
Certainly were, and Tigers had to fight hard to get there at the end, and I think that's 3 games now. They've won by 2 by less than a goal and won by 10 points. So Tigers doing nicely up into second, and this man has been in superb form this year, Jack Parker. 35 disposals again for him on the weekend. 13 clearances as well. Just been an absolute star of half-back in the midfield.
Mate, he's my McLeod Middle Smoky, Mr. Consistent. Good to see Jack Pottrell back late in the season from injury. We know his talent. Obviously, they've been riddled with injury this year. Wentworth, but good to see him back out and in good form.
Yeah, Pash's had a nice one-hander there before, and good return for him with 26 disposals coming through, 19 of them uncontested, 6 inside 50s to go with a goal as well. Nice performance from him, and absolute star when he's up and running, and they dearly missed him this year.
Yep. And for the Tigers, Jed Conley, 26 disposals and 4 goals for the day. That's a good day out, mate.
Yeah, he's certainly becoming a sneaky goal kicker there for the Tigers. You can see that one from deep in the pocket. Almost playing, I guess, an Ollie Dempsey kind of role on the wing, but pushing forward, getting the marks where he can, like that one on the lead, kicking from outside 50 when he's got the opportunity. He's become a really important player for this Tigers outfit.
Yep, and if they're going to go deep into finals, mate, he's going to have to continue this form and take the pressure off Steele and ready to hit the scoreboard as well.
Absolutely. Also 4 goals for Derek Gillespie-Smith, we see coming up here, and good return for him in this one. Pretty handy return. 4 goals in the end, as we said, just from the 8 disposals, so efficient, nicely done. Nice to see for him a bit of form towards the back end of the year.
Yeah, they've switched him forward late in the season, and he's definitely hit the scoreboard. He's a sticky matchup, and obviously plenty of class. You don't go and play at the high level if you don't have any class. So good to see Wentworth, not lowering the white flag to finish the season off. Obviously had a good win previous week, but then, into their form as well. And then we went down to Robinvale for this match where Imperials, unfortunately, were on the end of an absolute fighting from Robinvale.
Yeah, the Eagles, we sort of were wondering at different times whether or not they could try and put some teams away and get some big results to boost percentage, and that certainly came on the weekend, and led by this man back to dementia, of course. The McLeod medal winner from last year, another 30 disposals for him. 10 of those contested, 4 clearances, 4 inside 50s, 3 rebound 50s, was doing it at both ends of the ground, and just such a brilliant player. You can see there, his vision when he's got the ball in hand is outstanding, and great to see this man in a bit of form as well. Braden Turner, the former skipper, 3 goals for him on the weekend, go with 19 touches. And I love it when there's 19 disposals and all of them are kicks.
Yep.
It doesn't happen much nowadays, but it's great to see.
50.
Do not pass off when you get the opportunity.
No, that's right. And man, he's been the Mr. Fixed man. He's a bit of a utility. Goes back, goes forward. Where would you like to find your coach, mate? Predominantly.
Well, I actually really liked it. We mentioned this a couple of years ago. Him playing on a wing, I think, is almost as a link man there is a great opportunity. And speaking of goals, this man, Adam Oxley, we're used to him racking up the disposal numbers. Just a 10 this week for playing forward, but finished with 4 goals. As you can see here, he's just got the ability to read the play out over the back. Bob's your uncle straight through the middle, but very handy that they've got that bit of versatility now, the Eagles, because a couple of big games coming up for them, including a massive matchup this weekend.
Any chance someone can go near him inside forward 50? Here's a man of that calibre end up with 25 minutes of space like that.
Defensive pressure was not on at that stage.
Speaking of defensive pressure, Mildura versus South, number 1 on the weekend. This bloke had a fantastic season. Benny Hurley, unfortunately, they didn't get the result on the weekend, but the D's are riddled with injuries at the moment.
Yeah, he's certainly a leader for them, always leading from the front down back, if you will. Big mark there for the big man coming through. 24 disposals for him, but 4-1 percentage. You know he's always going to give the defensive effort first off. 7 rebound 50s to go with that performance as well. 9 marks coming through. Just simply one of the best key defenders in the comp, Benny Hurley. But as you said, not his day and not the D's day either. Massive result for South Mildura, who keep their Flynn finals chances alive. And this man was the man leading from the front once again, Rhett Montgomery, who had a good purple patch at the start of the season. Again, some injury issues, but starting to find some form in the last few rounds, Will.
Unbelievable, mate. He's had 29 touches, 14 marks, 4 inside 50s, 6 rebound 50s. He's accomplished, and there's a Batman and Robin duo back there in Nagel. Between them, they've had 26 marks again. Obviously, a huge reason to why South are giving us a late charge towards finals. Our man Stan Kerridge tried his best on the weekend, kicking 4 snags.
Wasn't quite the D's day in the end, but we know he's just such a good key forward up there. And up in the rankings as well for the Tommy Bland medal this year. Obviously, it's not a high total going through at the moment, but sitting, I think, inside the top 6 or 7 right now. In fact, in 5th position with 30 goals. So could be a sneaky chance if he has a big bag in the final game. Whereas another 4 goals, this man, Jiden Nagel, it is, again, very handy having that extra bit of depth for South Mildura when you've got everyone available. Very, very handy. 12 touches, 4 goals, 2 for him.
On one leg, need to get the win. You know, they're making that late charge, but he's all class. Like, he's played deep forward, he's such a sticky matchup, kicked the 4 goals, and as we can say, I think they've won 90% of the games when he's played.
Yeah, absolutely. That contested mark you just saw before was just a real sign of what he can do. That shot kicking is outstanding. Of course, head into our game of the round, which was Irimple versus Oyen United out at Hensherwood Oval. And really, the Swallows were probably in control for most of the match. Did kick, I think it was 3 goals 11 to half time. So inaccuracy hurt them early, but were able to get it on the board. And co-coach Jake Drum just doing what he pleased once again. 26 disposals for him. Didn't quite hit the scoreboard as you would like. 3 behinds for him, but covered every blade of grass out there and led from the front. While for Owen United, this man Isaac Johnson has just been superb again this year. I think he's got to be a lock for the team of the year, coming through 28 disposals, 22 of them kicks. He's got a goal in there as well. 5 rebound 50s, 3 inside 50s, doing it at both ends of the ground.
Yeah, he's phenomenal, and to watch him and Jake go at it on the weekend, I thought the game was probably one. Irimple have been hit with injury this year, and they've relied so much on Jake all year, and he's carried the team. But he had a few more helpers on the weekend and a lot more even spread across the ground. And you called the game, mate, as well. And it was good to see this bloke. This bloke, he doesn't stop running today.
No, absolutely. And I think one of the guys running with Jake Drum there, I was really impressed with Hope got. I think he's had a phenomenal season. Another 25 touches, 2 brilliant goals in the second half as well. Just his trajectory, I think, has gone up another level this year, and he's become a really bona fide goal-scoring winger, which is very handy to have at this level.
Absolutely. So he needs to keep working hard, maybe hit the gym a little bit, put on a bit of size, and he'll go like. That was the highlights from the weekend. And it is that time of the evening for Defender of the Week. Now, Mitch, I have got to repeat, offender. Andy Wall is our defender of the week. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, Will, he's had 9 disposals. Why are we getting defender of the week? Well, I'll tell you why. The highlights package that you're seeing right now is unbelievable. The man's had 11 1%ers and 5 rebound 50s. But what I like about it the most is a good lesson for young kids that are stat padding and counting their stats to show such a great defender of our league how he can impact games of football still.
Yeah, absolutely. It can come down to body positioning, reading the play, and as you said, he just makes an impact on the game, even if he doesn't necessarily have the touches to go with it. So good at the spoil. You can see him so often come from 3 back in the pack, just whack the ball over the line or get it away from the contest. Takes a great intercept mark in there as well and has the ability to rack up the touches, but just never feel like you're out of the game when you've got Andy Wall in the vicinity around there somewhere. And just been one of my favourite players to watch in the comp for the last 6-7 years or however long he's been going. Absolute star of the comp, and maybe it's been a little bit symptomatic like Wentworth this year. The results haven't gone their way and maybe it hasn't quite worked the whole season for Andy, but still an absolutely brilliant defender. And as you said, a prime example of what you can do to impact the game without necessarily bringing up the stats.
Yeah, Benny McGlynn will be tickled pink having him with such a young list out there. They'll be learning a lot and they'll be looking forward to 2027. So congratulations to Andy Wall. I think our team of the year for the division heading into the end of the season. So congratulations, you're our defender of the week. Mitchie, that time we're going to have a look at the ladder because there's a loggerjam. There's no other way to say it. Do you want to roll us through where the ladder currently sits?
Yeah, my pleasure, mate. Well, obviously the D is still sitting pretty on top at the moment despite a couple of losses at hand now. They've obviously got the bye this weekend. They're just 1 game ahead of Redcliffe now, who are standalone in 2nd place up to 36 points. And then Merbein, Irimple and Owen United, the top 5 a game further back, all on 32 points and all separated by about 5% in there as well. So it just goes to show that there's still plenty to play for in terms of the double chance and even making sure they can still make the final 5, because South Mildura and Robinvale Euston just nipping at their heels outside of there at the moment. Obviously the Eagles still have 2 games to go, while South have just the 1, so it probably makes it a little bit harder for the Doggies. Big game for them coming up this weekend. But certainly the Eagles, if they can get some good results coming in the next couple of weeks, every chance of being in that final 5. But I know my colleague on Hot FM, Michael D. Fabrizio, was running the numbers, and he said it is still mathematically possible. Say, look at Redcliffe, for example. Sitting in 2nd, mathematically possible for them to win the minor premiership, still mathematically possible for them to miss the final 5, which just goes to show how bonkers this season has been.
No, absolutely. And Robinvale, who everyone probably thought their percentage was going against them, come out with a 100-point win on the weekend, so they've picked up 10% on the week.
Yeah, timely for them. It's something they needed to do and really puts them right back in the threshold. And, of course, again, a big game for them coming up this weekend as well, which we'll have a look at a bit later on.
Magnificent, and I'm sure our special guest, Jonah, will be interested to have a chat to him and see what the vibe's like down there in Robinvale, and they'll be probably going to be pretty confident going on the weekend against Irimple down there.
I reckon when you start getting up and running, there's probably no stronger place in terms of vibes going around than down at John James Oval. And yeah, the boys are clearly building some momentum.
Beautiful. So that's the ladder overview for the football. Have we got a netball ladder there too, mate?
Yeah, we certainly do. And Robinvale Euston still sitting pretty at the top there at the moment with 13 wins and 1 loss for the campaign. Same record for Wentworth, sitting on 52 points. Mildura, who've got the bye this week, 48 in 3rd. Owen United with 36 points in 4th. And Imperials with 24 points in 5th. They can guarantee a finals position with a win over Redcliffe this weekend. The girls in green and white, and Christy Becker's first season out there. They've had a couple of opportunities, but 2 losses in the last couple of weeks. But I guess unfortunately for the Tigers, they haven't been able to pick up a win this year. So you'd certainly think Imperials would be red hot favourites going into that one. South Mildura are the only team who can really contend for that final 5 on 20 points at the moment. But again, they've got that bye in the final round. So it's all got to go right for them this weekend.
Mind you, ladies and gentlemen at home, this man is a very well-oiled machine, and believe it or not, got a 6-week-old at home. So you're just still doing this on no sleep and everything, mate. You are the ultimate professional.
Well, I'm trying my best, mate. Some people said, geez, you look tired. I go, that's pretty much how I looked before the bub come around. But with a 3-year-old and a 6-week-old at home, it's been a little bit hectic, but certainly the wife has been the real star of the household. She's been absolutely on fire. I've just been plodding along, doing whatever I can.
Well trained on and off the field, this bloke. Fantastic. Hey, coming up next, we're going to have a chat to the co-coach of the Robinvale Euston Football Netball Club, Jonah Licht, as we've learnt tonight. You've done
Yes.
some research and digging there for us.
Yeah, found the Dutch dictionary, and we think we've
Dictionary.
actually managed to get it going now. So Jonah Licht, apparently it is, but we'll get a bit more explanation from the man himself.
Beautiful. Looking forward to that chat. So stick around for more of the Footy Super Show.
First impressions matter. And when you're selling your home, presentation starts long before the front door. You don't need to spend thousands, just a weekend and a bit of elbow grease. A tidy, well-kept exterior tells buyers the home has been cared for. Because a well-presented garden doesn't just frame your home, it frames the buyer's mindset. And when it's done right, it's the little things out front that open the door to something bigger.
Chemist warehouse in the middle of our street.
Discover Black Milk Specialty Coffee, Mildura's first true coffee institution, pouring premium 5 senses coffee on our Synesso MVP machine, paired with fresh creative breakfast, brunch and lunch. Black Milk Specialty Coffee, 51 Deakin Avenue, Mildura.
Welcome to the Footy Super Show. And now, here's Will and Sam.
Welcome back to the Footy Super Show, where we are joined by, well, he's come back this time, so we haven't scared him off the first time, but co-coach of the Robinvale Euston Football Netball Club, Jonah Licht. How are you, mate?
That's it. Very well. Happy to be back.
Yeah, we're just laughing off air there, mate, that the footy factory ahead at the Redcliffe School, we touched on it with Dullins at the start of the year, but yourself, McGlynn and him out there just producing some of Sunraysia's finest athletes out there.
Yep, finest athletes. Not sure about off the field. I had a few of them last week, sitting behind the goals, giving me a bit of grief, but they've got some good talent there.
And no side wages, bottle of wine or anything on the game of the weekend?
No, I wasn't that confident actually after last time we played them. So, yeah, I went in very humble this week.
So you're telling me Brad's a tight ass wouldn't have a better game? Is he worried?
No, not at all.
Nah. Hey, mate, at the start of the year, you came in, we spoke about the promise of what was. It's been somewhat a bit of a roller coaster throughout the season. Injuries, form, the competition itself. We spoke about how it was going to be such a tight contest all year. How have you found it? How's the body holding up? We're getting towards the back end of thing. Let's talk about the lows of football, the highs, where the club's at now, because I'm assuming the vibe's going to be very high down there at the moment.
Yeah. I guess off the back of a few wins, the boys are a little bit more up and about at training and are excited for the prospect of playing finals. But yeah, the start of the year just completely humbled me. I mean, to have a couple of ACLs early on in the season to key players, especially those older heads that you need out on the field with a young group, really hurt us. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster. We had a suspension to one of our best players mid-season with Joel missing some games. And to make matters worse, we've got one of the boys is expected to have a baby on Saturday. So I'm just riding the wave. But yeah, that's part of footy, I guess.
You could write a bestseller there. You should sell a book there for sure. You speak of the ACLs, and in my opinion, Gilly is the number one ruckman competition, number one big man, and to see him go down and breaks your heart, and in particular as a side when you're recruiting, when you're planning, that's your number one piece that you've got to get together. In particular, everyone's recruited so well with their big stops. That's really hurt. And how have you gone feeling that boy, and who's really stepped up in that role for you?
Yeah, well, I guess we've talked a bit off air about Braden Turner just sort of sacrificing his own game. He'd played a lot of football down back, but he's gone down forward and been a really key player for us down there and shown a lot of leadership. And then obviously Piercy has had to sort of take a bit more time in the ruck. It would have been awesome to have that 1-2 punch with him and Gilly in, going back and forth. It would have been awesome to see, but unfortunately, Piercy's had to take the most time of the ruck, and he's done a really good job. So yeah, those two boys have really stood up.
I've also mentioned off air before, mate, that you've sort of got really both ends of the age scale going out there at the moment. You've got your actually Leon Johnson, Jake Garefa, who premiership players have been stars for a long period of time, and a number of debutants coming in this year, sort of in their still mid-teens. So I guess how do you guys go with juggling that sort of kind of age demographic going through?
Yeah, I think it's really good and it's exciting for the club. The fact that they have so much experience out there that can help teach these younger kids coming through, and I guess just keep them sort of as cool heads on the field, and it helps me out, and particularly Johnny. Johnny's quite a passionate coach, and having some cool, calm heads on the field definitely helps at times. So yeah, we're very lucky, and I think it works.
Donnie being passionate is probably an understatement. I would have thought. I think it's a man who probably keeps a sharing under his doing it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, loves it.
That was going to be my next question. How many hours sleep do you reckon Donnie's having this week compared to the big fella here? Very few, I would have thought. Yes, nah. Pacing around outside, I think it's about the combination. You're going to have a bit of yin, bit of yang, and it worked well for the boys down there.
Yeah.
Confidence levels must be high. You go Orimple on the weekend. Obviously, they showed a little bit of form on the weekend against Iron. If you can say that you've got the lead figured out, you're doing better than most of us. Where do you see this game being won and lost on the weekend?
Geez, well, I guess all of our games, our pressures had to really be really high. So all the games that we've won, I think the last 6 rounds, all the games that we won, our pressure's been over 100. And when we drop off a little bit, like teams just seem to cut us apart. So I think it'll be the pressure around the contest. And I guess, accuracy in front of goals, we probably struggled in that area a fair bit. I know you guys did as well last week. So just making the most of your opportunities when you get them, I think that'll be super important on the weekend.
There was nothing in the clash last time at Henselwood Oval. And I believe, looking at the bottom, there could be some rain around too, which do you think that suits you guys better or more in Orimple's favour?
Well, I actually thought rain didn't suit us, and then we played Owen not long ago down there, and as soon as the rain came and the ball was on the ground, the two camera brothers, that's their bread and butter. So who knows?
So sprinklers will be on regardless of we get.
We'll see.
The rain.
I suppose looking at that form, mate, obviously there's been a few instances this year we've seen with Redcliffe, with Orimple, and with you guys too, have been either near the bottom or on the bottom at some stage, and then I've managed to find a bit of form coming through. Since that point when you lost Orimple last time, you've had 5 wins, including wins over Mildura, Orient United, and with Mervyn as well. What do you think you can attribute to that bit of a turnaround in form?
Yeah, I just think I think it took us a while to adjust in terms of where players are best suited on the ground. I think it takes a fair bit of playing around with. Me not knowing the players too well when I came here, and then seeing how they play and having to adjust with Gilly out and move players around. It's a bit of a puzzle that it takes a while to figure out. And I think we've just sort of to tinker with it, and it's starting to work now. We had one really off game against South, but it's coming good at the right end of the season. So
beautiful. Just to throw a cat amongst the pigeons, it'll probably be a draw the weekend down there. Just when we've got something like that, draw it away, could be a fitting result. We're going to throw over to Mitch now. You're taking over the hot seat, mate, of the quick 5 questions. Thanks to the boys down at Black Milk. Bit down there for all your coffee, lunch, and now they're even doing takeaway dinners as well. So get down there and see Zach and Paddy.
Absolutely. Well, I sort of got thrown this a little bit before I came into the studio here. So sorry, kids, if I butcher this coming through, but we'll make a few of these up as we go. I suppose first off, mate, favourite movie?
Jeez. Favourite movie? I was thinking about this the other day. I've been meaning to go and see that Odyssey movie, but Troy would have to be up there as one of my all-time greats. Yeah.
When you were growing up, who was your sporting idol?
Jonathan Brown. I used to love watching him play, and kick goals from outside 50 and stick the finger up in the air. And yeah, it was awesome.
In terms of playing sport, obviously being a Queenslander, did you play a bit more of the league and the union in there as well?
Yeah, so I played rugby league and AFL up until I was about under 14s, under 15s, and the body started getting a bit bigger and I was a little bit sore on the weekends playing both sports. So I had to choose my first love, and that was AFL.
What was your first job, mate?
I was a checkout chick at IGA. We've
got a bit of traction for us.
All the young girls would have been going straight to the no robots over here. Straight through the big girls.
I used to sweet talk. There was this older lady there. Her name was Gail. Hello, Gail, if you're watching. But I used to buy lollies in the afternoon as a young kid, and I was always polite. And it's a message for the young kids out there: make sure you're polite to the checkout chicks, and you might get a job. So that's what happened.
Like it.
Beautiful. In terms of establishments here in Mildura, where's been your favourite to find for a dinner spot?
Jeez. I actually had a steak last night with my cousin who was visiting from Melbourne at the Spanish Grill. Had a really nice steak there. I love Pizza Cafe. The chicken avocado pasta. Picante pizza is delicious.
Oh.
And then in terms of coffee or breakfast spots, I'd say, Nash Lane and Brother Chris. You can't go wrong.
Pretty happy with that. Who would be, if you were going on the road trip and say there was just you and one of your teammates in the car on the drive back from Robinvale, who'd be the one person you'd least want to have in the passenger seat with you?
Least? Have we just won or just lost?
Donnie after a loss. It might be Donnie after a win. He's excited sitting next to you on my own.
Yeah. Oh, look, if it was after a loss, it would probably be my housemate Joel, because he doesn't say a whole lot. So that might be the best one. If
that ends up being the case, are you a music or a podcast man?
I'm a podcast man. I do like to learn stuff on the go, and I'm interested in different things. So yeah, podcast.
Any particular style or genre you go for? Or?
Anything. Yeah. Lots of different topics. Yeah.
I suppose the final one. Will and I somehow managed to score an invite around to the boys' house for dinner. What's on the menu? What are you cooking?
I'd probably have to fire up the barbecue, put some steaks on there. Some potatoes and some veggies. I'm pretty simple. And that's where I cook when I get a chance, because in Robinvale, it's lots of pasta and lots of pasta and schnitzel.
We touched on this at the start of the year with the Italian influence, and you've done well to keep yourself in good check. Yeah. With dinners down there, mate. You've done very well.
Thank you.
Exciting stuff moving forward. I don't want to take your focus away from what the task is at hand on the weekend. Footy trip, where the Robinvale boys go on footy trip this year.
I think
that one.
There's whispers of Adelaide.
It's really like we're going back up to Queensland somewhere.
Look, I pushed for that, but yeah, the vote went through, so I think Adelaide's the trip. Nice and close to home.
Seriously, a popular destination.
Yeah.
What about yourself, mate? I'll do some recruiting for Robinvale. What's the movements for the next season? You're recommitting, you're sticking around, going back up north. Where are you heading?
Yeah, I think I'll probably have some conversations this weekend going into this round. But I've loved my footy here so far. I'd like to stick around. And, I guess with things not going our way this season, I'd like to have another crack at it and see if we can have a bit of a more consistent year and hopefully less injuries. That'd be nice.
Done very well, mate. And I think Kerridge is in all sorts of trouble because the big fella didn't even have any questions written down whatsoever, and he started.
I think it's been well established over time. I've been able to pull stuff out of my ass pretty well over this period. So mission accomplished again.
Absolutely. Hey, Jonah, thank you very much for joining us. I'd say all the best on the weekend, but I don't matter. Mate, I hope you get plenty of kicks, and I hope we'll get the 4 points and you get to go on that footy trip over in Adelaide. So
Thank you.
Was Jonah Licht from the Robinvale Euston Football and Netball Clubs. Stick around for more of the Footy Super Show.
First impressions matter. And when you're selling your home, presentation starts long before the front door. You don't need to spend thousands, just a weekend and a bit of elbow grease. A tidy, well-kept exterior tells buyers the home has been cared for. Because a well-presented garden doesn't just frame your home, it frames the buyer's mindset. And when it's done right, it's the little things out front that open the door to something bigger.
Discover Black Milk Specialty Coffee, Mildura's first true coffee institution, pouring premium 5 senses coffee on our Synesso MVP machine, paired with fresh creative breakfast, brunch and lunch. Black Milk Specialty Coffee, 51 Deakin Avenue, Mildura.
Welcome to the Footy Super Show. And now, here's Will and Sam.
Welcome back to the Footy Super Show. That was a good chat, mate. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so here, great man, I think, coming through. Probably the most handsome man in the competition, you would think, there at the moment. But certainly for him and Donny Falvo and his Eagles boys, they've got a big game coming up this weekend, which we'll look at in just a few moments.
We can't do what we do without White Mildura, Chemist Warehouse Mildura. Obviously, the guys down at Black Milk as well. Give Brett Robinson a call for all your servicing needs on 0451 033 267. Get on the blower to Robbo. Big shout out to the River 1467 guys. They do a fantastic job of calling our games. And also to Dave Burrows, the king of breakfast radio.
Absolutely, he is, and brings all the good stuff in the mornings. And guys, as you said, you can't do what we do here without their support, and obviously leading into some big games this weekend, Will.
Crazy, mate. It's crazy. Well, what we could do is we could really sabotage Sam here, because you could just completely tip the opposite and I could just take off into the sunset, win the tipping competition.
But that also could be fraught with danger for yourself there as well, Will.
It could be too, but let's take a look at the games coming up on the weekend. Robinvale and Euston, Robinvale Euston take on Dalrymple down at Robinvale. That's going to be a game of the round.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a massive contest down there. Obviously, as we mentioned with Jonah before, big contest for them. Basically must win for Robinvale Euston. If Dalrymple win this, final 5 is sorted from there. Eagles win. I think they draw level on points. And then it comes down to the final round where I think the Eagles probably have the more favourable draw. Dalrymple have Redcliffs in the final round there as well. So huge ramifications coming out of this one. Essentially, the home side must win if they want to play final.
Yep, absolutely. Obviously, we don't need to go into who I'm tipping, mate. I'll be tipping Dalrymple. You saw Dalrymple firsthand last week. You call the games. You've seen a bit of Robinvale this year. Mm-hmm. Where's the game? Won and lost.
Oh, it's going to be really interesting. I think contested ball is going to be huge out of the middle of the ground. And I think the Eagles, when they can transition quickly, they look really good. But at times, I think maybe just from the lack of personnel with injuries at different times as well, they maybe haven't quite had that same kind of fluid ball movement as they would like. But a couple of the boys that you mentioned before the cameras, Dion and Matty, I reckon it really hold key for them being able to run up and down the wings and bring the ball back inside 50 as well. Obviously, the likes of Baxter Bench, Joel Leahy in the middle of the ground as well. And it's going to be a really interesting battle in the ruck, I think, between Matty Pearce, who's sort of your old school big man, who's can throw the weight around but still moves pretty well, against Mitch Christensen, who we obviously saw firsthand in the second half against Orion United on the weekend, was absolutely dominant in the middle, kicked a couple of goals to go with it as well. Again, absolute star. Had some injury issues during the year, but you're not a runner-up in the McLeod medal for no reason, are you?
No, absolutely not. Good to see Mitch back out there. Hopefully coming good at the right time of the year. Have you got a tip for us, mate?
I reckon just to try and make things interesting, I'm going to go for the Eagles.
Yep.
Because I think it just adds to the drama of coming into the final round of the home and away season. Both teams have had their ups and downs this year, so who knows which team's going to show up. But certainly it's going to be a cracking contest for whoever shows up at John James Oval.
Absolutely. Well, I'm tipping Dalrymple, and then we move on to Oyen versus Wentworth down at Blackburn Park.
Yeah, going to be a big one there for Oyen United. Certainly a win for them could potentially have them in with that double chance inside the top 3 as well. Obviously a big missed opportunity against the Swallows on the weekend. But a lot of that also depends on the Merbein contest coming out as well. So plenty going on for them there. And Wentworth, as we said, gave Redcliffs a real scare on the weekend. Whether or not they've got the muster to be able to go through and play spoilers against their fellow bounding mammals down there, be interesting to see.
I did notice Brando back out on the park.
Yeah. So, which was a bit of a surprise. I was under the impression that that was probably season done.
Yeah. So can't sleep on Wentworth. And I know Benny McGlynn, we want them to finish with a bit of gusto, and especially for these young guys that they're trying to develop. This is a final-like game that they could have.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see they're putting the time and effort into some of these young kids. Really impressed with Bodie Edwards, who's obviously played some time with the Bendigo Pioneers as well. He looks like he's got a really bright future. I think another 20-odd disposals for him on the weekend.
Yep.
These are the kind of games that builds confidence and also game sense for these young players coming through. So, as you said, Benny McGlynn will make sure that the boys are sort of up and firing, but At home, down Blackburn Park, I'm still just tipping Owen United to bounce back from what was a poor performance last week.
Same, I'll go with Owen as well, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. Then we go to Moorabool versus South. Now, this is tantalising as well.
Certainly is. Moorabool were second coming into last round, sitting in third now, obviously, after the bye. Again, a win could go a long way to solidifying a top 3 position and the double chance, which I think a lot of people thought Moorabool would improve this year, but probably far beyond the expectations of what most people would have had. And I mentioned before about, places rocking down at John James Oval. It's been like that all season out at Kenny Park. Been absolutely brilliant out there for the black and white faithful. But for South Mildura, this is their last chance to lose. This will be their last game of the home and away season. It's probably going to be tough for them to actually get in, but if they're going to have any chance of the final 5, must win and must win well this weekend.
I think they've left their run too late. That's just my opinion.
It was that 7-game run of losses, really, wasn't it, that sort of hurt them?
It hurt sharp. They've had a heap of injuries. Their best is good enough. Unfortunately, injuries have just riddled them all season. Moorabool have had the week off now. They've had a few little niggles themselves. They need that freshen up. They're going to come in hot. I think they come out, make a statement, get their season back on track.
Yeah, there's probably a bit more pressure on Moorabool now than they would have had in the past, but I reckon they'll still take the attitude they've really got nothing to lose coming into this final 5 series. I'm back in the fires as well.
Yep, absolutely. Imps versus Red Cliffs. Red Cliffs, they're going to get the job done here by how much?
I don't really want to put a number on it, I don't think, because Imps always show up for this game.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, injury issues again for them has just curtailed their season. And Red Cliffs, they've been getting the wins, but they're not massive. As we said before, I think combined margin of about 20 points in their winning margin in the last 3 weeks. So just doing enough to get across the line. But every time you think they might be taking a backward step, they just seem to keep the momentum up and going. And
come on, Mitch. Imps have just lost by 100 points to Robinvale. They've got injuries. You've got the informed side of the competition in Red Cliffs.
I am a bit hesitant because if anyone who knows me knows I'm a Red Cliffs man, so I don't want to put too much on it. I think Imps will give them a crack, but I still think Red Cliffs, it's their game for the take.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going for Red Cliffs. So I think I've only got one tip different. So I reckon better do me a favour, which they did last week.
They certainly did.
I've taken the lead, and Mildura have the bye, which they are absolutely begging for because their injury list continues to grow.
Yeah, you want to hope they've managed to find some magic dirt somewhere. They might be able to rub onto a few joints and just get a few of their stars back and playing again. Although for them, RJ Watson was a good return on the weekend. I think, again, similar to Brander, a lot of people probably expected that may have been season done for him. So to get him back ahead of finals would be huge, and it would be better for the run last week and get that extra bit of rest before they come into their final round contest.
Beautiful. Hey, mate, that wraps up the show. You've been an absolute superstar, as always, the ultimate professional, and you kind of make me and Sam look very, very poor at this job.
I disagree with that entirely, mate, but thank you. It's very kind. Always nice to be pulled off the bench. There are a few splinters sitting in the backside. I think, that's fine. I got in here tonight, but appreciate it, mate. And it's going to be fun watching in to come into this final 5.
Won't be the last time we see you, though, this season, mate. We're hearing big things. You're going to start spruiking a big grand final show.
Yeah, I think I've got the pom-poms out and just about ready to go.
For some reason, they're going to let us go live. So that...
which is probably a terrible decision
in advance. Easy, but we're definitely going to get you back into that show, mate, because you're a part of the team and we love what you do. And congratulations again to you and the wife on the new edition. Hopefully that's all going well.
No, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it. And we'll make sure we try and get as much 40 winks as we can on the way through to leading into some big things in the next few weeks.
Beautiful. What game have you got the weekend you're calling?
Well, the boys will be heading out to Moorabool and South on the weekend. We'll actually be doing a bit of work with Headspace. So we'll be out at the Imperials Red Cliffs game because it's Lifeline How's Your Mate round this weekend. So, of course, talking a bit more about mental health within netball clubs out there. So we're lucky enough that we're going to partner with Lifeline Loddon Mallee and have a presence out there at that contest. So if anyone is around at that one at Terra Oval, come and say g'day and hopefully come through some of the resources that both organisations will have there as well.
Absolutely. And if you do need a chat, you need to find someone, look up Mitchie and the guys at Headspace Mildura. They're floating around, but you've been awesome. Thanks for joining us on the Footy Super Show, and we'll see you next week.
First impressions matter. And when you're selling your home, presentation starts long before the front door. You don't need to spend thousands, just a weekend and a bit of elbow grease. A tidy, well-kept exterior tells buyers the home has been cared for. Because a well-presented garden doesn't just frame your home, it frames the buyer's mindset. And when it's done right, it's the little things out front that open the door for something bigger.
Chemist warehouse in the middle of our street.
Discover Black Milk Specialty Coffee, Mildura's first true coffee institution, pouring premium 5 senses coffee on our Sunraysia MVP machine, paired with fresh creative breakfast, brunch and lunch. Black Milk Specialty Coffee, 51 Deakin Avenue, Mildura.
Sun City Streaming thanks our wonderful sponsors for their generous support for our community YouTube channel and the Footy Super Show. Tesco Inland Petroleum, White Mildura, Chemist Warehouse Mildura, and Fisher Developments.